Okay, so we're gonna model a hand. Okay, depending on what type of character you're building. This one's more like a generic. You can make it into a male or female hand depending on how you detail it. You can make it into a monster hand again after you detail it. So this is the very basic one, non-detailed hand modeling. Okay, and then we'll get into detail, which is basically part 2 of it. All right, so let's see. So let me turn on my scale tool right here so we always see it, because I'm going to be using that one. All right, so from the top, I'm going to make this one just a little bit kind of slimmer like so. Okay, so we will model the thumb going over here, and then you'll have your 4 fingers going up there. This would be the top of the hand, and then the bottom will be the palm of the hand. The wrist will be right here. Okay, so in modeling, you need to kind of prepare and see the future, so you kind of predict what you're going to do. So a lot of those preparations, you do it here, and then you do it now, and then you will then make those details and then change some of that stuff. So normally I don't need to show everything when I model, right? I don't do step by step like when I teach, because I already know what I want. So I kind of, I've been doing this for a while, but when you're teaching, you kind of have to kind of reverse engineer the modeling. Okay, so a lot of the stuff we'll do, it's kind of redundant, simply so that you can visualize it. All right, so first things first is that I'm going to go to edit mode, and I'm going to do loop cuts. Okay, so you can probably see here, those will be the finger extrusion right there. Okay, so looking at it from the top like so. All right, so what I'll do is I'm going to go to face mode here, and then I will activate my scale tool, and I will kind of do that right there, just so that I can kind of round off the hand already. Okay, and this area right here will be where the palm would be, the thumb will be modeled. So I'm going to go to the top right there. Okay, I'm going to press E to kind of extrude, and I'm going to scale like so, and rotate it. Okay, I'm going to scale again, and I'm going to scale and scale. All right, thumbs up, right? Terrible looking one, but anyway, I'm going to make some adjustments here. I'm going to go to point mode, and then just, this is not necessary yet, but I do want you to kind of see and visualize what we're actually doing. So I'm going to put those in there, so at least you can kind of see. There we go, kind of like a thumb shape, and I'm keeping it flat, kind of to the ground right here, so that whenever we need to make changes, we can definitely just add those later. Okay, so I'm just going to expand this just a little bit right here. Okay, and let's take a look. There it is. All right, I'm going to select, this 4 faces right here. I'm going to extrude this one. Just kind of do that a little bit, just so that you could see where the wrist will connect. All right, kind of like so. And then just here, maybe expand that a little bit. And everything here, it will still change. Okay. Next right here, I will expand this a little bit. That will be where the pinky would be, so we need less space on that one. And on this one, I'm just gonna go expand it like so, and then we can always change those later. Okay, just kind of forming it like so. Okay, for now I do want to kind of move all these parts right here, and then scale those so that it's still kind of like squarish. It'll make it easier for us to kind of model the fingers, and then we can add those later. Okay, all right, so I'm going to select this. I'm going to turn off my X-ray mode. All right, and then I'm going to do a extrusion here. I'm gonna go to the side so we can see it. So I'm gonna go first extrusion right here. Okay, then I'm gonna rotate that a bit. So I'm gonna relax them a little bit, okay? And again, I'm not following any photo here, so the length of this one doesn't really matter at this point, okay? But if you do have photo or reference, it'll be better. So that could be super long, super short, but for now, let's say that's within the ballpark, okay? All right. So now that we have that, let's do a little bit of modeling to it, okay? So I'm gonna go here and kind of move this a little bit like so, just so that we can kind of create the fingernail later on, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna, oops, actually made, forgot my x-ray. All right, so I'll make it easier to visualize. All right, move those a bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna do some control R's right here. So I'm basically loop cutting. All right, and then here, I'm gonna be moving this basically the joints. I'm just gonna move that a little bit so you can see where the parts of the finger kind of gets tapered a little bit. Okay, not too much, but just kind of enough right there. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, very boxy looking. Okay, all right, so eventually this will have a control R right here. All right, that we can grab and round it off, but we're gonna do those in detailing it, okay? But for now, we just want to kind of prepare this so that we can grab one of these and then basically create the template for all the fingers, because you don't want to be modeling all the fingers kind of separately when you can just kind of copy and paste them. Okay, so I moved that a little bit so it's a little bit more squarish. All right, so this is the part now where we're going to prepare all the fingers, but we're going to redo them after we make like a master template for the finger, and then we can just add all of them. All right, so with this one, I'm going to increase my control plus, my selection. Okay, I'm hitting control and plus on the numpad. So it selected all that. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to do Shift D. So I just get one finger right there that's just kind of on its own, okay? So after that one, I'm going to start adding the fingers, all right? So I'm going to select this first, and I'm going to move them and kind of position them, all right? So I selected that one, and then I'm going to do a, I'm going to press P, okay? It's in Popeye, and then separate selection. So what's going to happen is that this will be a separate object right now. So, all right, so I can just copy and paste it. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the hand and then kind of prepare this. Should have just kind of Shift D that one, but I want to show you the separate tool. So I'm going to click those edges right there and then fill up that gap. Okay. And let's take a look. Okay, that's all connected. And I'm just going to select all this, and then I will just from the top extrude it just one time. All right, like so, and then so I can start modeling the sockets for the fingers. So I'm going to press number 1. I'm going to go to X-ray mode. Okay, so oops, I'm going to turn that off for now, the scale tool, and then I'm going to kind of start giving this an angle like so. So we want the fingers right here to kind of, for the index, okay, middle, and then right here for the ring finger, and then pinky. Okay, so this one right here, I'm gonna do Control plus, kind of select it. Okay, scale this one, rotate it, and kind of just position that in there. Okay, I'm gonna Shift D, Get a copy of that one. Scale that a bit. Rotate it. Kind of position it in there. Shift D. Rotate it. Okay, and scale that just a little bit. All right, and then this one we'll use this and combine it so that we'll learn that process. So it's not part of it yet. It's a separate one. Okay, like so. So I'll select the main hand in object mode, shift click this, and then Control J to join the two together. Now it's a single object. All right, so those are kind of positioned right there. It's not hitting the mark yet where that's supposed to be. So that's basically our next job right here. So what I'll do is simply select each one at one point of those and then just hit plus. It will stop because there's a gap right there. So Control plus will stop on that selection. Okay, and then here I will kind of rotate this. Oops. So that I get the angle a little bit correct, so it's not too relaxed, but it's close to that one. Okay, and then we'll learn. We'll get to merge these. Okay, so get rid of X-ray mode. Okay, so we're just going to merge them one at a time. So basically, a lot of you have done very close to this. Probably seen videos. Okay, so in 2.8.3, I think they changed the keyboard shortcut. Used to be Alt M to merge points. Now it's just simply M for merging, and then for splitting it's Alt M. So if you want to kind of separate it, okay, or split it. So we want to combine this to that gap right there. So first things first is we got to select the polygon here, okay, and then we can. There's several ways actually to do this. Let me show. This one first, the pinky right here. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this one. Press X to delete the face. Okay, I'm gonna go to point mode or vertex mode, and then I'm going to select this first, select that last, then I'm gonna do M, merge at last, so it just jumps to that. Okay, next I'm gonna select this first and then that one last, and then instead of pressing M and then clicking at last, I'm going to do Shift R to repeat the process. Again, Shift R only works if you are actually just modeling. Doing the last command that you want. So you better do your selection correctly. Okay. So I'm gonna do here first, and then that one last. Shift R. This one, then that one. Shift R. Okay. So that's one way to connect it. So now that's connected, there's no gap. All right, let's take a look at this one. We'll do it another way, okay? So I'm gonna go to face mode first, select this face, and then all this face is going on here. So all of those, okay? I'm gonna press X face, okay. So what we'll do here is go to edge mode, select those ones right there, and then press F as in face, and then it bridge it, okay? So it's like bridging but creating poly face. Okay. So you see it right there, and press F. All right. So regardless of what you, which one you're going to use, it will work. So I'm doing this just so that I could show you all these different techniques. Okay. So I'm gonna delete those faces. Go to edge mode. Do the same process. Okay. Edge to edge. All right, then last one. All right, and there's your super basic polygon hand with no detail. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to this, add more stuff, and then see what it looks like. All right, so I'm gonna do Control number 2 to kind of see it with subdivision surface and what it kind of looks like. All right, and let's turn that off and go back and see this. All right, so I'm gonna end the recording for part 1.